Welcome, Sagittarius. Welcome to Intuitive Gems. My name is Desiree, and I'm going to be doing your money, wealth, finance, prosperity, abundance reading for the month of May 2020. I hope you are staying well, Sagittarius. It's been tough for all of us, so I just want to say hang in there because I promise this will not last forever. For the readings this month, I'm going to be using my white tarot deck. For clarifiers, I will use my Radiant Rider-Waite tarot deck, and then I will close out the reading with a Numerology Guidance card. If this is your first time catching one of my videos, again, I want to say welcome, and I invite you to subscribe because I do these readings each and every month, and I would love to share your money message with you. Also, you will notice that I do read jumper cards. Sometimes when I shuffle, the cards will fly out, flip over. And those are the cards that I choose to read because I believe that they are trying to communicate something specific. So I do acknowledge that. All right, so I think I got all of the formalities out of the way, Sagittarius. Let's go ahead and get started with your reading. So what do we need to know for the sign of Sagittarius as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of May 2020? Okay. All right, Sagittarius. You're going to really... I think you're going to be feeling a little bit more spiritually sensitive as we move into the new month of May. And I say that because the very first card that came out was this High Priestess. Now, this is a very intuitive card. This is a card that really kind of shows that inner wisdom as, you know, being the main energy. Also, High Priestess is someone who is just very spiritually sophisticated, someone who really knows kind of the direction they're going, even if they don't know exactly how they're going to make things happen or when they're going to happen. The intention is very, very clear. And I feel like that's what's going on with you, Sagittarius. It's like you know your purpose, you know your direction, you know what you intend to do. And even if you don't have the whole game plan figured out, you're okay with that because you know that you're making the right steps and you know that you're being intuitively led towards what it is that you're seeking. Now, we also have the Five of Swords here. Now, the Five of Swords, sometimes this is all about distance and separation, which obviously is the case for many of us right now. But also, too, I want to say this is kind of a professional distancing and separating as well. You could have some conversations with people that you work with, management, colleagues, maybe vendors, clients, partners, whatever it may be. And sometimes the communication may not necessarily go well. I don't want you to take that personally, Sagittarius, because it really has nothing to do with you. Again, you're very clear, you're very direct about, you know, what it is you want and what you're trying to do. However, sometimes people just can't communicate very well, or sometimes people feel a little bit threatened even by your, it's like by your clear-headedness. You are, sometimes people find that difficult. I don't want to say that you're being unrelatable, but they feel like, you know, because you kind of are so solid in certain areas and they're still kind of lost in certain areas, that it's kind of hard to really be around that. It's hard for people to not feel a little, like I said, threatened or envious or even confused by that. So you may experience that as we move into that first week of May. Now we have the Three of Cups here. This is a delayed project, a delayed event in some way, shape, or form. Again, I think we can probably expect that as we are all dealing with current circumstances. And just know that this, again, it has nothing to do with you, but there will be some delays or cancellations of some type of event, and you will probably get word of that in the first week of May. Now, we also have the Chariot here, Eight of Pentacles, and the Five of Pentacles. The Chariot here talks about things progressing forward. If you are looking to start a business, looking for a new job, if you're looking to try something new with, maybe some money that you are trying to figure out, should you pay bills, should you save, should you pay down debt, should you invest, whatever type of project that you're working on, it is moving, it's moving forward. So I don't want you to think that you have a lot of time to sit on anything, because things are progressing. Now, they may not be progressing in exactly the way or the direction that you'd like them to progress, but it doesn't mean that things aren't happening behind the scenes. So just know that, especially if it's something you're currently working on, just know that things are moving forward and they are happening, and things are definitely kind of just the project is just trudging right along. Growth is happening. Now, we also have the Eight of Pentacles here, and the Eight of Pentacles is about, work is coming your way, especially if, you have your own business. You can look forward to maybe some new customers, maybe some new projects coming your way. Also, to get ready, because you are probably going to start getting a little busy. Especially if you're self-employed or a freelancer or something like that, work is definitely going to start showing up, like I said, and it will be keeping you busy. You are going to have offers, you are going to have projects that people are going to want you to kind of give input or work on. People are going to want to hire you. So just know that the workflow is going to steadily be increasing for you throughout the month of May. Finally, we have this Five of Pentacles here. You're just going to have to be careful with your spending. I know we talked about some potential investments or some other things going on. But you just have to be very, very careful with your budget. Be very careful with how you're managing your money. Really do what you can to kind of prevent a worst case scenario, is what I am seeing with this card. Kind of, if you can afford to save a little bit more, do that. If you can afford to pay your bills maybe a month or two out, do that. Again, don't cause yourself unnecessary stress, but do what you can to really set yourself up now, so you don't have to worry and figure things out or how things are going to happen later on, because most of the things have already been taken care of. All right, so what else do we need to know for the sign of Sagittarius as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance? Oops. For the month of May 2020, what do we need to know for the sign of Sagittarius? All right, Sag. Now, I've been seeing this card come up a lot in readings for all the signs, and this talks about, movement or travel, either not happening or either being postponed, canceled, or just changed in some way, shape, or form. So, I don't want to get too far ahead in the reading, but if you do have some type of movement or travel plans, just know there's going to be a lot of changes as it relates to that. But let's go ahead and start here. We do have the Four of Wands in the reverse position. Four of Cups upright, Knight of Pentacles, Strength reverse, and again we have that Six of Swords in the reverse position. Four of Wands, this talks about something, I keep wanting to say a new beginning, but I know that's not exactly what this card is about. Now, usually this card means a foundation. It also means coming together, stability. Sometimes this is the marriage card. But when we see this card in the reverse position, it's a new beginning or a new foundation of a different sort. Now, we may think of things coming together, like I said, professionally or personally, like in a marriage or a brand new business venture, but there's going to be a different type of beginning. Now, this may be something that you're not really expecting, or maybe something initially that you're not thrilled about. However, there is some potential here, and that's really what I want you to focus on, Sagittarius. A new beginning that may not be that exciting. It may not be something that you exactly even want to do, but there is some potential in this, okay? So just kind of examine the situation or the opportunity or the offer from every possible angle. Take your time with it, study it, talk to people, get as much information as you can, because there is going to be some type of a hidden gem in a situation that doesn't at first come across as being that great. And I think when I see this Four of Cups here, that kind of just reconfirms what I said here. This is being presented with an offer that, again, may not necessarily excite you, or it could be that your expectations just don't match what is being presented. And that's probably a fairly, a fairly justified feeling, considering, what's happening nowadays with business, with our economy, with our money. Things are showing up, and it's almost like a lot of these businesses and these employers are trying to make us feel like, oh, we should be so lucky to still have a job, or we should be lucky that, we're not, that we're getting paid, or something like that. Well, at the same time, you don't have to settle, okay? And if it feels like that's what you're being kind of forced or led to do, make sure it's going to pay off for you in some other way. It's like, okay, if you're agreeing to a cut in pay, or if you're agreeing to being temporarily laid off, furloughed, whatever, make sure it's there's a benefit for you somehow, okay? Make sure that you're not just settling and just taking the first thing that comes your way. You really have to be selective, and you really have to be discerning when it comes to this. Now, we also have the Knight of Pentacles here. This means that you are going to get support in some way, shape, or form. The support is going to be slow coming, though. It's not going to happen quickly, but you are going to get some, whatever you may need. I'm thinking that this is some type of financial help. If you've been waiting, to hear back, say, on a job, maybe unemployment, maybe an advance or something, but you are going to get some support as it relates to your money. It's just going to be slow. It's not going to be something that shows up quickly. You'll probably start seeing that in that second week of May. We also have the Strength card in the reverse, and the Strength card in the reverse, this is more about a quiet strength, okay? This is about you. Sometimes we can kind of overdo things, or we can do too much, or we cannot do enough. Depending on the circumstance, you'll have to make that call for yourself. But if there is some way where you're kind of catching yourself either doing too much or not doing enough, you'll know it, and you'll know where to make adjustments. You'll know how to either compensate or undercompensate or overcompensate in some way, shape, or form. But just know that, your strength is going to carry you through, and this is emotional as well as physical, mental, and spiritual. But also, too, don't burn yourself out. A lot of times when I see this card in the reverse, it's usually when people are getting to that point where they're feeling burnt out. Sometimes they're feeling a little overwhelmed. So you just have to be very careful, ration your energy, just like a lot of us are, sometimes we're rationing our food and our supplies. Just be very selective with how you're spending your energy and who you're spending your energy on or with. Okay, just be very, very discerning, and keep yourself guarded, because you only have so much to give, and again, you don't want to get burnt out. We already talked about that there's going to be some delays and changes, maybe some postponements as it relates to travel, as it relates to some type of a trip, vacation, or something like that. And again, I don't think that's going to be too much of a surprise for you, Sagittarius, because of the way things are going, the way things are still very much up in the air, right now within our world. Okay, so let's see what else is going on for Sagittarius as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of May 2020. What do we need to know for the sign of Sagittarius? All right, Sagittarius, as we move into the second half of May, things are going to kind of turn in your favor for the better. If you've been feeling like you've just kind of not been at the right place at the right time, well, that's going to shift as we move into the second half of May. We have that Wheel of Fortune. We also have the Heirophant, Two of Swords, Eight of Cups, Seven of Cups, and the Ten of Swords, all in the upright position. Wheel of Fortune, one of the more positive cards in the deck. It's always a pleasure to see this guy show up. Again, an unexpected stroke of good luck, things literally turning in your favor. Get ready because you will be in the right place at the right time, especially as, like I said, as we move into the second half of May. We also have the Hierophant here, which means, you know, there's going to be some positive interactions with someone in an authoritative position. Now, a lot of times this does mean religious authority, religious principles, but not always. Sometimes this card also shows up when we have positive interactions with those in a higher position. It could be something work related, which is kind of what I'm feeling, considering that's the context of this reading, but also it's could just be someone who is a little bit further along the path than you are. Sometimes this shows up as a mentor too, like someone that we look up to, someone who has achieved what it is that we are working towards. It could be like a coach, it could be an advisor of some sort. So just know that you are going to have, again, more support. And also you are going to have a very good working relationship with someone who is in a higher position. I'll just say it that way because I think that makes the most sense. Finally, we have the Two of Swords here. You're going to be making some type of a decision. This is a decision that you may not necessarily have to make, but from your perspective, you're feeling a little limited. Now, as it relates to work and as it relates to money, you may feel like, oh, you only have choice A or choice B, but again, that could only be your perspective. That could be only your interpretation. If you can, seek a third-party input. Do some more research, take some time. Just really don't feel stuck and don't feel limited because maybe there's something you haven't quite, dug deeper into. Maybe there is more options to you. Maybe you just need to kind of take your time and talk it out with someone. So I just want to throw that out there, especially too, because like we said, you're going to have some interactions with someone in a much higher position, and maybe that could be the person that gives you a little bit more clarity or someone that gives you a little bit more information so you can make a better decision. I'm feeling like this is something work related too, so you may have two offers that you have to consider, or it could be maybe you have to decide, do I stay or do I go? Something along those lines. We also have the Eight of Cups here. Now, the Eight of Cups is you walking away from something, you turning your back on something. And this is probably something more of an emotional nature. Now, it could be a personal relationship. It could be a work relationship. It could also be a circumstance or a situation. But don't feel like you have to stay with anything or anyone. I feel like this is going to be actually a very empowering thing. I feel like you're going to walk away from something, or you're going to let something go and not look back and have no regrets and have no hesitation even. So whatever it is, Sagittarius, just know that you're on the right path. We also have the Seven of Cups here and the Ten of Swords. Now, the Seven of Cups means that you're going to have several offers, and I think this is where that Wheel of Fortune card is coming in. Again, you're going to have lots of offers, lots of opportunities, lots of options, lots of choices coming your way. Now, you're going to be able to pick and choose really what it is you want to do, especially as it relates to money, as it relates to work, as it relates to your business. You're going to see that you really can go in any direction. You just have to get really clear about what feels right, because remember, you're very highly in tune this month. So whatever feels right, whatever feels good, take your time and be quiet and sit and see how things make you feel before you make a final decision, because you really can't go wrong. But at the same time, you want to make sure that it is something that truly resonates with you. Finally, the Ten of Swords here is a little bit of disappointment with someone. I'm feeling like this is a person here. Someone could disappoint you. Once we move into that third week of May, I'm also feeling too that this is not something that is going to be a surprise, Sagittarius. I'm feeling like you already kind of see this coming, but it finally kind of reaches that point once you move into the second half of the month. So I don't think this is going to be a surprise. I don't think it's going to be a shock. Someone or something is going to disappoint you. You can consider this a heads up, or you can consider this confirmation, depending on where you're at. But this has nothing to do with you, but this has everything to do with the character of the other person, or the character of the other entity that you're dealing with. Sometimes people just are that way, not necessarily because they have any ill will towards you, but sometimes people who don't necessarily have the best character, don't have the highest morals, highest standards, kind of hurt people along the way, and it's unnecessary and it's unfortunate, but unfortunately it's a part of life. So, you may have some disappointment coming, but like I said, don't internalize this. Don't blame yourself. It has nothing to do with you. I'm feeling really strongly like this is more about, like I said, the character of the other person or the other party. So what else do we need to know for the sign of Sagittarius as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of May 2020? But now, here's the good thing, Sagittarius. As we close out the month of May, this is a really, really nice row of cards here. All of them in the upright position. You've got the Six of Pentacles, Nine of Cups, Lovers, Two of Pentacles, and the Page of Cups here. So you're going to be in a position where you're feeling very, very generous. Things are just going to kind of be working out for you. I say that again because this card fell onto that Wheel of Fortune card. Like I said, literally things shifting, turning around in your favor. An unbelievably wonderful stroke of good luck. You're going to feel like you can be generous. You can share your talents, your money. You're just going to kind of feel like you're in that overflow, and you're going to do something about it. Helping others, contributing to worthy causes that you're passionate about. Whatever the case may be. Now, we also have this Nine of Cups. This is what is known as the wish card. What have you been wishing for, Sagittarius? It's coming. Get ready. It's coming your way. That's another reason kind of why I didn't want you to feel too down about this disappointment, because it's not going to actually really affect you. I should say it's not going to affect your financial stability. It may hurt, it may sting, but it's not going to totally throw you off your game. Look at how your month is closing out. You've got, like I said, the wish card here. You're going to start to see some positive signs about whatever it is that you're wishing, hoping for, working towards. You also have the Lovers card. This is a divine union, a divine coming together in some way, shape, or form. You're going to be connecting with the right people. It could even mean literally you meeting your soulmate, your twin flame, your special someone. It's just, things are just so harmonious. Things are working out. Things are coming together in an unexpectedly beautiful way, and it's mutually beneficial. It's not something that's one-sided. It's something that feeds your soul as well as feeds the soul of the other person or the other party. This is a beautiful, beautiful card. Like I said, these series of cards are just pretty epic. I mean, it's going to be a very highly compassionate ending of the month for you. And also, too, it's going to just feel right. Things are just going to feel really, really good. Now we have the Two of Pentacles here. This just means, as we move towards the end of May, pay attention to all of your bills, your finances, your budgeting. Just do what you can to stay on top of everything. Don't let anything slip, and don't forget about anything. Double check, triple check. Use your calculator, all those good things. Just really pay attention to the details as it relates to your money. Finally, you've got the Page of Cups here, which means you've got some good news coming in. Very good news, as a matter of fact. Someone's going to be showing up with information, a message, an email, a letter. Something good is coming your way. This is definitely a positive message that is on the way to you. Now, the other thing that I think is very enlightening about this is that this fell onto that Ten of Swords. So, there could be some positive news or positive information coming out of this disappointment here. So overall, Sagittarius, you have a very, like I said, a very sensitive month. Your emotions and your intuitive abilities, your intuitive nature are really going to be on high throughout the month of May. You're going to be feeling maybe little bits of overwhelm here and there, but it's nothing, like I said, that's going to totally, knock you down or anything like that. The second half of the month looks really, really good. You've got things shifting in your favor. You've got connections being made in a very harmonious way, and you've also got a lot of options, especially as it relates, to work into your business. So Sagittarius, May's going to be good for you, and I can see it. I can see it. Clearly, I can see it. So let's go ahead and close out your reading, Sagittarius, with a Numerology Guidance card. All right, you got two cards here. And look how beautiful. You've got number 7, personal growth. And then you also have number 66, healing. And I apologize. I hope there's no glare on these cards. But personal growth, I think this is going to be a good time where you really just kind of, like I said, elevate yourself to those next levels that you're striving for. Also healing here. I find this very, I guess poignant would be the word. Healing, because you're definitely going through that. But also I find this healing is going to be something that really allows you to kind of release. And I don't mean only emotionally, but I also mean spiritually, mentally, and physically. So I hope this reading was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it, Sagittarius. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or observations, go ahead and drop them down in the comment section below. And if you would like to connect with me for a private reading, I will have that information linked for you in the description. All right, Sagittarius, thank you so much for choosing to spend this time with me. I'll see you again next month.